When Sony pulled the interview, many big actors and power players in Hollywood spoke out. Ben Stiller wrote on Twitter, "Really hard to believe this is the response to a threat to freedom of expression here in America." Actor Rob Lowe compared Sony paying this ransom to one of the most despised appeasers in world history. Quote, "Saw Seth Rogen at JFK. Both of us have never seen or heard of anything like this. Hollywood has done Neville Chamberlain proud today." End quote. Then Lowe also found common cause with Republican firebrand Newt Gingrich, retweeting his warning about caving to bullies. Quote, "No one should kid themselves. With the Sony collapse, America has lost its first cyber war. This is a very dangerous precedent." That alignment of at least a portion of so-called liberal Hollywood and a conservative politician even made some international news.
America has lost its first cyber war and North Korea has won. Well, that's the judgment of one of America's top Republicans after a cyber attack on a film studio led to a film about North Korea being pulled from release.
Today, many in both Washington and Hollywood have been criticizing the decision to cancel the film.
And influential Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin wrote last night that he will screen the interview at his small theater in Santa Fe, though, of course, you'd have to get the movie from Sony first. He also wrote, quote, "The level of corporate cowardice here astonishes me." Again, since you were a deputy there in the CIA Korea division, what do you think the view is there? And does that affect the way the United States and President Obama and his team have to think about this if no response to this, because we determined that it was more like a cybercrime against a company, is seen as a total success and a sort of weakness on our part?
Right. Well, I think the self-censorship by Hollywood is a bit disturbing. One would have thought Hollywood would be on the forefront of fighting for freedom of expression. In addition to this movie, there's also supposed to be a North Korean related movie starring Steve Carell. That's also been shelved. And Hollywood actually has been remarkably silent when it comes to North Korean human rights violations. Hollywood stars are protesting against human rights violations that pale in comparison to North Korea's, which a UN commission recently assessed as reaching the level of crimes against humanity.
But what are you getting at there? Are you saying that's hypocritical in your view?
Well, I think it's just unfortunate that Hollywood has stepped back from moving forward on this movie as self-censorship, as your report previously indicated, and also on human rights, that there's been a silence from Hollywood about these egregious North Korean human rights violations.
And I want to get Mr. Schneider back in just on the point, because you're at Harvard Law studying internet and society. Is there any other example to Mr. Klinger's point?
You know, we do see a lot of self-censorship, mostly in other countries. In China, certainly, there's a very repressive internet censorship, which leads people to self-censor. We have seen examples of companies doing things in advance of potential regulations, trying to forestall them. But this, what Sony did really is unprecedented. It seems like a very, very knee-jerk, almost panic reaction to an extremely uncredible threat that they're just responding to. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.